Greetings. My name is Dean McFalls, raised in Seattle, Washington, living now in the Central Valley of California with my wife and child. I've worked over the years as an educator, as a missionary, one working with nonprofit organizations, and a minister. During the last 2 decades of the Cold War, from around 1973 till 1991, I traveled extensively in the United States, Europe, Eastern Europe, Soviet Union, and the Middle East, promoting citizen diplomacy, that is communication and understanding between people in the world, peace, justice, and just a better way of living for everyone. Out of that travel and out of that great experience came a book which I'd like to share with you today called Delivered on Christmas. This book contains 15 episodes or sagas, all in verse form, patterned after that famous American classic, The Night Before Christmas. But actually the book was 50 years in the making. The first story that I wrote when I was 12 years old was done in 1967, and already I was addressing some of my worries about the world and possible destruction of all that we love. So even though these stories are patterned after that famous verse, they take you from the fun and the ridiculous to the sublime and the serious, to issues that concern all of humankind even today. I encourage you to learn more about this book by my website, deanmcfalls.com. But let's talk a little more. Christmas is a time of great joy, light, color, and beauty, but it's also a time in which we think about the redemption of the world and the darkness that is over the world now. So let me introduce one of these stories to you from 1982 that begins with Santa, but takes us to that dark place of the possible destruction of Earth through nuclear war. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the north, one could hear sounds of cheering as Santa set forth from a comfortable cottage, the elves and his wife, for the ends of the earth and the trial of his life. The snow is light falling in a gentle breeze blew, as into the whiteness the cottage withdrew. But in less than an hour the weather grew worse, and the ice bit so hard that it made Santa curse. A blizzard began, and a bitter wind blew, as into the darkness the whiteness withdrew. But Santa, resolved, kept his eyes straight ahead, and coaxing his reindeer, he crouched in the sled. By Christmas of 1984, with the group of pilgrims, I had crossed the United States on foot and Europe to the Holy Land, then walked with another group towards the Soviet Union from Scotland. After a month in Poland as well, I wrote this verse, and all I'll do is give you the beginning, but it reflects a darker world. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through my sleep, I had dreams that would make even mean people weep. And ceaseless, increasing, they gathered at last, till my inner peace shattered and scattered like glass. Deliver me, Jesus, I cried from my bed, and to shut out the visions, I buried my head. My wife, now awake, sang a soft, silent night, and she tried to convince me that things were all right. But these ominous visits, which we scarce understood, made me certain my life would be changing for good. Towards the close of the book, I shift the focus from West and East in relations during the Cold War to North to South. And that's why the last story takes us south of the border to Mexico. This is important to me because now I'm married to a woman from Mexico, and our child is being raised as a bilingual child. During this time in which immigration is still a huge issue, this story, written in 1990, is still relevant. It was the night before Christmas, not far to the south, where the land opens wide like a gigantic mouth to swallow the poor as they follow the light that shines on the northern horizon so bright. For decades they journeyed from lands near and far, drawn on by the sight of that beautiful star, whose radiant face turns the night into day, just north of the border, yet so far away. Thank you for taking time to watch this brief video. I hope you'll find interest in the book, and my website is www.deanmcfalls.com. I also have several books coming up, and we can talk about that on the website. God bless you all, and may God bless our world.